You're listening to Second Cut. This is the weekly podcast where we talk about topics in film theory, criticism, history, etc. Because it's fun to do. I'm Jacob, and I'm the one who's a sad Chiefs fan today.
I'm Sam, and I'm the one whose Santa was kidnapped by a Christmas witch.
I'm Kieran. I'm the one whose Santa was kidnapped by Martians.
Yeah. We have two unequal pieces of real life news. The first is very serious, the tragic passing of Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner. Go read about that. It's obviously a story that as time goes on seems will become sort of scandalous and ripe for inquiry. But
it is as tragic as it is. There was a very kind of darkly comedic side of me going, in 50 years' time, is there going to be like another sort of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood kind of thing where this is a focus? When they were using Tate and that as a focus for that. Because it is the kind of thing that will get made into plot points for Hollywood movies in, give it 40, 50 years. It's
like a Law and Order episode.
Yeah, it's about, it is something that would happen, yeah. There will be documentaries on this. Wait for the Netflix one in about 2.5 months' time.
Ryan Murphy's Rob Reiner series on Netflix.
Yeah, I was going to say in about 3 years' time, but it won't take Netflix that long. It will be released under Warner Brothers.
But just the outpouring of love, obviously, I think it brings across just what a big impact he had on so many people's, lives, through his work and through his just generally being a decent person,
Yeah, and then then at the very least you look at his like opening sort of run of films, like. It's insane. This is Spinal Tap, The Sure Thing, which I haven't seen, but was very well received. Stand By Me, Princess Bride, and Harry Met Sally, Misery, A Few Good Men, and those are his first 7 films. Like, it's insanity. Like, they're just amazing run straight out of the bat.
Yeah, and he was like one of the most versatile filmmakers out there at the time, wasn't he? I mean, just there wasn't anything he tried and didn't, just find success with. Really, just not many kind of filmmakers could be just as adept at doing like really, really kind of upsetting kind of horror thrillers and like really warm kind of rom-coms and coming of age movies.
Yeah. Spinal Tap, you've got rockumentary. Stand By Me is a kind of coming of age. Princess Bride is a fantasy comedy. Harry Met Sally is a rom-com. Misery's like a one-room thriller horror. Few Good Men's a courtroom drama. Like it's insane. You just one to the other, and a lot of American directors at that time could do that. Spielberg is another one that just like there is no genre. Just clicks.
And he's working right to the end. I mean, just this year, he had a great couple of episodes in The Bear, in the Bear season, this season.
And obviously Spinal Tap too.
Yeah, just the other week I watched that actually, and he's still a great straight man. Just to keep these ridiculous people together and just not batting an eye. It's just you need that contrast, to make the silly stuff kind of work.
Yeah. So we'll have a memorial full episode for him in the new year. You can hear Kieran repeat the thing he just said, surely.
Yep.
And that'll be fun because all those movies, like I really haven't watched or heard of anything that he did in the 21st century, but those 80s and 90s films are obviously classics. Although one particular film is surely going to catch fire. The one co-written with his son. So, I don't know. Like it's weird to like promote it, because of the scandal and salacious aspect of it. Yeah. But at the same time, like now it takes on a different light in retrospect, and that's sad and interesting. So, but yeah, we'll get more into him, give him his due. Right now it's Christmas time. My Kansas City Chiefs, for the first time since 2014, will be missing the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL, and I just
You weren't wearing the hat.
No, I was. I piled. I think, yeah. It's that's my personal tragedy going on right now, and I'm in full hockey mode. So,
what happened in 2021? Did they make it through?
So in 2021, we lost to the Cincinnati Bengals, but then they went on to lose to the Rams, and I've never rooted harder for the Rams than I did that day.
It's so weird that you're talking about like rivalries and it's like hundreds of miles apart, and in the UK it's like, yeah, it's about 8 miles down the road if you're lucky.
Kieran, if I contextualized it in like football terms, I'm not sure that would help you particularly, but
it's like half the time in the UK you have football teams or soccer teams in the US like that are literally sort of like halfway across town, and they will like straight up start riots.
I mean, you have derby days, don't you? Like the two teams from one place,
Man United, Man City, and it's literally like there's only sort of 1 million, 2 million people in there, and it's like there are two football teams that will kind of attack each other. It's insane.
Yeah, jeez. Yeah. But before we get into football stuff, which we will eventually, we have to talk about some other Christmas movies. But before we do that, this is a bad film club episode. I think one interesting thing about these three movies is the way they sort of treat Christmas inherently as a logistical and cultural commodity that is like, it is important. It needs to happen. It needs to spread. And like, that is a typical Christmas thing, is that it's necessary. Any Christmas movie where Santa is not available, well, Christmas has to happen one way or another.
The entire world will end if Christmas does not happen. It is the apocalypse.
And Santa essentially saves the day in all three of our movies. Even the one where he's not a central plot element, he's in there, and he comes in right at the end.
Realistically, this is not just the Christmas Bad Film Club episode; it's the Santa Bad Film Club episode.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe I'll retroactively change this to the Santa one.
Yes, it's fine.
So we can do another one of these.
Let's just keep trucking on.
Yeah, we'll do good stuff next week instead.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. And what other?
What do you guys think you have to have in a Christmas movie? Let's start the debate. What makes a Christmas movie? Because in order to know what a bad Christmas movie is, you need to know what you've got to begin with. This is the whole kind of argument with genre theory, that in order to be able to dissect something, you have to know what's there. But if you don't know what's there to begin with, how can you know what to look for in order to identify something as a genre movie? So what do you need to be a Christmas film?
I think we had a similar discussion this time last year, didn't we? And didn't we come around to the fact that generally they have to be a certain degree of cozy. They have to be kind of comforting kind of films. And I think I said this at the same time. Again, it's got to be something that you'd happily rewatch each and every year. Usually, if it works, if it connects to you. Like I will always watch Muppet Christmas Carol every Christmas Eve without fail.
Yeah. So are we discounting Black Christmas as a Christmas film?
Yeah, I mean,
the 2019 one I'm discounting just for quality because it's awful. I thought about doing it for this, and I didn't want to rewatch it because it's just atrocious.
There is a difference between a film that takes place at Christmas and a film that is a Christmas film. It's the themes, it's the plot elements. The Christmas lore, the cultural touchstones, music.
I mean it's kind of an old, well-worn debate, but I still would argue most, if not all, of Shane Black's work could be considered Christmas films, because not only do they all have the obligatory Christmas scenes in them, but they're usually, no matter what kind of a comedy, action, buddy comedy kind of film it is,
with predators.
they usually tend to end up with whoever the main character is trying to get home to their family by the end of it, for usually for celebrate Christmas or for a get together. That's one of his go-to kind of themes. I mean, I randomly watched, I haven't seen it in years, I randomly watched Last Boy Scout the other day. Black wrote the screenplay, and yeah, that's not set at Christmas, but there is getting the family back together.
It might as well
be by the end of it, yeah. And I think it is sort of coming up to kind of Christmas time by the time the kind of the plot wraps up. So, and films like A Long Kiss Goodnight and Lethal Weapon, most famously, they're explicitly set at Christmas and actually comes into the plot, as it goes on. So,
I love how you said Lethal Weapon most famously. It's like Die Hard.
No, but it is one of those that I think the people kind of start saying, "Hey, this Shane Black dude seems to write Christmas into all of his screenplays." So, what kind of a film it is?
I also think for bad Christmas movies, it's not that it is a bad at being a Christmas movie, because that's like impossible to fail at. You just need to put the stuff in it.
Yeah.
These are just low quality products, essentially, that are just part of the commercial Christmas.
Yeah.
I was going to say, do you think they have to be made for purely commercial intent rather than an artistic intent? Yeah, I say this, but then most movies are now made for purely commercial intent. This is why they're awful.
They have to be unprofound. They need to be, I mean, there's novelty to the films that Kieran and I chose, I believe. But like there has to be something like real to it that isn't just generic family and good spirit.
Yeah. I mean, that goes more for, I suppose, the modern idea of a Christmas movie, really. I mean, I'd argue most of the ones that were made in the 40s, It's a Wonderful Life, that was the Bishop's Wife and Shop Around the Corner, things like that. There is artistic merit to them. It's not just about commercialism. I mean, apart from anything, I don't think any of them really did gangbusters at the box office. They became appreciated over time.
Obviously, you're talking about the 40s Miracle on 34th Street as well.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But it's it has become that over time. It's like it's a good money maker, isn't it? If we can get it made, get it out in time for the holidays, guaranteed a certain amount of kind of bums and seats, to take it in, and in theory, repeat viewing, as the years go on, and a lot of the iconography and audiences in desperate need for like festive cheer will do a lot of the heavy lifting for you without having to make anything too kind of.
I think as well, because a lot of them are sort of vibes movie. It's a cozy feeling in that kind of sense. You don't need to go too in depth, and because of that, you can kind of put it on and switch your brain off, which means that you're not like massively caring if you rewatch it again, because it's low energy to watch anyway. Some of the other films that may be better films quite often requires some amount of engagement, whereas some of these stuff, like especially kind of the modern ones that go straight to Netflix, traditional Hallmark Christmas movies, you can just shove it on in the background and it's just a vibe. It's the movie equivalent of somebody putting on like a YouTube video of a fire crackling on an iPad and propping it up somewhere. You know what I mean? It just enhances atmosphere.
But you load up any streamer this time of year, and you'll have a few classics on there. That they're trying to get to watch. And all these are go tos. Your Home Alones, your Christmas Vacations, all these other ones. But then right next to them, you've got the streams like pushing their new wares for the year, right at you as well, which you want to watch alongside that, So I watched, Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, and then as soon as it finished, straight up, what pops up on Amazon Prime, but is it Michelle Pfeiffer? Is it a new Christmas film this year? Which is What Fun?
Batman Returns.
Well, that as well, yeah. So straight away recommends What Fun, and then there was I was watching something else on Disney the other night, and straight away next thing pops up. The Jonas Brothers have done a Christmas movie this year.
Of course,
I'm so surprised. I'm so surprised that you didn't pick for this episode, Jacob.
I wasn't aware of it, unfortunately. But
Obviously, 2024 Nosferatu is a Christmas movie as well.
Yeah, I guess so.
Just saying.
I think also, the films that we chose, I mean, they succeed in the fact that they are fulfilling sort of the promise to the audience.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
they're not promising all that much.
yeah.
Kieran, your metaphor of a iPad fire is perfect because it has none of the warmth and none of the real spirit.
It's like empty calories, isn't it? It's like it does the bare minimum to sustain you, and you'll get probably what you're tuning in for, basically. Whether that's just a bit of kitsch, low budget kind of so bad it's good kind of nonsense, or just what were all these filmmakers and their millions of dollars and film stars doing them hundreds of millions of dollars on this one, or how do they keep churning these things out year after year and people still keep watching them? You've always got this question in mind, but I suppose you get whatever you actually bring to these kind of movies, really, and there's whatever their relative qualities. I don't know. I kind of got something out of all three of them, to be honest. I'm not saying any of them are good, but
I mean, the point of a bad film club is that half the time they're so bad they're fun. At least, even if they're not good, you have a good time trashing them as much as anything else. So, the ones that are genuinely awful. I mean, I say that we did do the One Miss Call remake, but the ones that are just like absolutely terrible, you do not wish on your worst enemy, don't end up in these things. Normally they're stuff that you have fun trashing and taking the mickey out of. So at least there's that for a bad film club.
Yeah, well, one of these is of noticeably worse quality in terms of production than the others. Kieran, why don't
I wanted to go for something a little bit different because you know me, I always like to go for an older film or one not in the English language, something like that, to try and expand horizons.
I was actually amazed by how old this was. I'd heard of it, but I didn't know it was from this era. I thought it was like I mean, from like the 80s, like Killer Tomatoes era or something.
I love the poster for it, like the color use. Yeah, it's much better quality.
Yeah. So I was looking at just going, bad Christmas movies, and they're all from the last sort of 10, 15 years. And then I saw one with the amazing title of Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. Or I don't care what we're doing this one. Like just on the title alone, you don't need anything else. Like sorry, we're doing it. We're going for it because it's just amazingly stupid and pointless. So how did you describe it earlier, Jacob, when you were watching it? You compared it to something.
I called it Nightmare Before Christmas, but cheaper and stupid and not creative.
It's essentially Martians who are people in paint and with a very bad latex cap with antenna on.
Which I do want to say, you said green paint. They can render the color green on screen. And I don't know if it's the quality of the print that has made its way to streaming, but this is not green face paint. They look like they're all in blackface.
I mean, I'm wondering if it was meant to be green because the rest of them obviously green bug-eyed monsters and stuff like that. But so people dressed
Marvin Martian has a black face. So like, were they going for that? I don't know.
Put it this way, Doctor Who has more convincing monsters back in 1964. And that's saying something.
We could make this production if we had a furniture budget.
Yeah. Back where everything on Doctor Who was made out of papier-mâché and hope. That things wouldn't fall over midway through a take.
Tinfoil and bubble wrap. There's an amazing Hammer film. I can't remember which one it is, but it's got John Pertwee in it. Going around, it's one of the anthology films they did, playing a kind of Hammer star and just like with his little cane going, look, you can put your stick through these kind of like awful walls. And it's like, he's still doing Doctor Who at this point. This is what they're riffing, not just Hammer. They're going off Doctor Who as well. Anyway, essentially, the Martians are very upset because their young kids just keep watching the TV the whole time, watching shows coming from Earth, and they're really sad and miserable. Why are they really sad and miserable? Because it's Christmas time and Santa's great down there, but they don't get any presents, which is not how a Martian should be. They should be logical and thinking. And so the head of the Martians goes, sees the sage in the forest cave, whatever it is, the red tinted room, and they go, "What time of year is it?" "Oh, yes, it's Christmas time. The reason is Santa Claus."
But
It's like,
by the way, winter is a different time in Mars because the planet
ignore
alignment.
that. This is irrelevant.
They go
You know,
around the sun longer.
I think of it's this time of year again. It's like, but the years are different. You know, I'm thinking right now of when they were filming A New Hope, and Mark Hamill is doing a scene where it's just when they got out the trash compactor, and he's like, "We just got out of this. Shouldn't our hair be all matted and stuff?" And Harrison Ford goes, "Hey, it ain't that kind of movie. People are looking at that. We've got bigger problems." You know, and I'm thinking the same thing. It's like, if you care about the rotation and the plans like that, ignore that fact. But this movie,
by the way, a quick Harrison Ford note: he was cast to play, or originally cast to play Rob Reiner's role on All in the Family, but he turned it down because Archie Bunker was too much of a bigot, so he wouldn't join the cast.
I mean, good on him at that point. But yeah, so the Martians are like, "Oh, this is bad. I tell you what we can do. Let's go kidnap Santa Claus." So the Martians go and they kidnap. Well,
because
first they kidnap.
They say they have so many, they won't miss one.
Yeah. Or they look down, they see Santa Claus on this corner, and this corner, and this corner, and this street corner, and over there, and over here, and they go, "Oh, by the way, earlier on, there's been a reporter that's gone to the North Pole and done an interview with Santa Claus, where his wife doesn't realize they're on air and starts berating him. It's like, oh, we're on air."
Why didn't you tell me, honey?
Which is just like, it's hilarious and stupid at the same time, because it's in the nicest way. Like, if it was one of these things where it's just awful, but everyone's trying their best, it'd be fine. It's not. Like, the dialogue is awful, the acting is awful. It's just awful all around.
There's a point where the little girl says, "That is the bad guy," and I'm like, "Oh, good. I lost track of what was happening."
I was losing track.
Yeah, I'm so glad we worked that out. Before the Martians actually go and kidnap Santa, they go and like kidnap two kids who are lounging around outside, and it's like, "Oh, I don't believe in Martians. That's absolutely stupid." Just as two Martians come up behind them, and they're like, "Oh gosh, no, those are the Martians." What
would
timing
you do if you saw
comedically?
Martians? I would scream. Ah!
Well, then they turn around and go, "You're not really Martians." It's like, well, no, they're not. They're people dressed up in a costume. If even the kids can work this out, I'm fairly sure this wasn't in the script.
They're two men with terrible handlebar moustaches.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure this wasn't in the script. It's just one of the kids that said it, and they just left it in, like by accident. It just wasn't put on the cutting room floor. Anyway, they kidnapped two kids randomly. That was never part of their plan. They don't explain why they can't kidnap the kids. I think it's just to keep their other kids company. Maybe, who knows?
And then they proceed the rest of to spend the rest of the film get frustrated at kids not doing anything they're told and not staying in this room on the spaceship and go around and causing all kinds of trouble.
Yeah, ignore the whole kidnapping thing.
But
then they go
about the little girl Martian. By the way, Pia Zadora grew up to star in Butterfly, where she won a Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Actress in 1981.
Didn't improve then.
No, this was the peak of her film career.
Yeah, somehow. Like, and that's only because the Razzies hadn't been invented yet, you know? The Razzies are great. It's just bad film club Oscars. It's amazing. Yeah, so they then go to the North Pole. They decide on the North Pole. They go, we could kidnap any of these. And, like, do they work out the one Santa at the North Pole is the real Santa and the others are fakes? They just go, that one will do? We don't know. By chance or by bad writing, probably both, they kidnap the real Santa Claus.
Okay, I think if we ever come across any kind of a logic problem in discussion of any of our films, I think one of us just needs to respond with, "Shut up, that's why." Because it's not going to be answered.
You get a bridge because shut up.
Yeah, we're just going to go down the rabbit hole, I think, if we kind of go through these problems too closely.
Right. So they've kidnapped...
Actually, Santa doesn't exist.
Shut up. That's why. So they've kidnapped Santa. They've kidnapped 2 kids. They're taking him back. Only one of the Martian guys doesn't really like this idea. Doesn't really like the idea of Santa Claus. Doesn't like the idea of gifts and toys. And oh God, there'll be toys everywhere on Mars. And we can't be having this. We can't be having fun. We need to be I don't know, like a warrior race. We're going to invade the Earth with tripods and green capsules at some point.
He's a nationalist.
Yeah, essentially, we don't like foreigners. Essentially, coming over here, bringing all their toys, and their foreign ways of mass production for something. So on the way,
what the kids do, they sit around and they listen to educational tapes. Like that's their.
That's because they're so depressed they listen to educational tapes.
Well, yeah, isn't there a line where they're basically one of the old priest Martian is kind of, is kind of sad that basically the Martian children are basically born adults. Really, they're too obsessed with logic and education from an early age, and they need to remember how to be children again, which is why they need Santa.
They're turning into Vulcans.
Even that's kind of an sort of an interesting sci-fi idea they could have dug into, even at this budget, couldn't they? The idea that children literally born with adult brains, just
they could have done it
so instantly.
They look at children and go, "What are these?" They're literally like born within like 2 days. They grow to full size. They're Martians. You can do what you like. They're picking up extraterrestrial broadcasts from Earth about Santa Claus and getting depressed about it. I don't think anything else is really like beyond it. Anyway, on the way back to Mars, one of them tries to essentially take them on a guided tour, Santa and the 2 little kids, and literally goes, "This is an airlock." And the kid goes, "Oh, I read about these. You've got to be real careful not to get locked in, because if that door opens out, we're all going to get sucked out, and this isn't good." And he's like, yes. Door shut. Hey, he's locked us in. And
reading a lot of Asimov, this kid.
I would love to say that I'm exaggerating, but probably that performance was better. It literally is. It's like, hey, he locked us in. And it's like, however, shall we escape? And it's like, oh, there's about 5 seconds before it goes, what's that over here? And it's like, Timmy, what do you think that is? Santa's like, not going, we're going to die in 10 seconds. He's going, maybe you can figure a way out for us,
Okay, before the shut up that's inevitably coming, why would you have an air vent in an airlock? The point is to have an airlock and not a way for air to filter in and out.
Because shut up, that's why.
Because shut up, that's why, yeah. Yes. Amazingly, when the door to the airlock opens, they don't all get sucked out back down the air duct and out again. I think maybe it must be like Alien, where you have kind of the doors between them, but you can open them from both sides within seconds and close it within seconds, which, considering there is a 60-second timer and they spend the first 30 to 40 seconds going, what are we going to do? Boy, we've really had it now. And then all 3 of them, including Santa, managed to climb up an air vent, which is not big enough for either of them, with no internal ladder climbing abilities.
Kieran, that is Santa's whole magic power, is being able to fit into tiny holes.
Not with the other kids.
Well, kids are just small.
If he can do it with a sack, then he can do it with a child. And that sounds wrong. I should have phrased that better.
That's getting clipped. YouTube Shorts, here we come. Maybe TikTok, But so
that's the one logical thing I didn't have an issue with.
That is the one thing. The shrinking Santa ability, which is not shown in this film.
Oh, they do not have the effect.
They couldn't afford it.
What would they use? A balloon?
At least in Red 1, they try and do it. It looks awful, but it, looks about as good as the effects in this movie.
They had the same effects budget, approximately.
Yeah, I think the effects budget for this movie was the guys getting paid to do the sets with donuts. That's about it. Which, to be honest, is how most low-budget films actually get made. You just feed your cast and crew and go, okay, that's done. Yeah. Here, have a bowl of chili, that'll do. We made it cheap. big. So they escape and they come down and it's like, how did you escape? It's like, well, you left us in there, but we saw an air vent. He's like, oh, an air vent. I should have known. Oh, no. Anyway, they then get to Mars and get introduced to the other kids and they try to set up a big, like, Santa factory on Mars. Only everything's going wrong because, like, you're getting, like, tennis rackets with baseball bat handles and stuff. Like there's some other stuff that I've skipped over, but it's incredibly uninteresting. Like even more uninteresting than the rest of the stuff so
it's
far.
so funny that like, okay, Santa's gonna make a toy shop on Mars. What's he going to produce? Items that Martians wouldn't know about, have any use for. Trains. They have trains on Mars?
That are in exactly the same kind of setup, apparently. Well, they would probably know about it because of all the broadcasts from Earth that are coming through.
That's true. They're getting a lot of Yankees games probably on Mars.
The Kansas City Chiefs, you know.
God, yeah. I'm surprised they didn't go like, okay, well, we want our sci-fi toys, because that's the fun thing about like futuristic space worlds is they like exclusively use fancy technology and like they fly everywhere, and
unless you are John Carter of Mars, you know.
Yeah, that's where the incongruency was for me, is that they have an advanced society, but they're just asking for old-fashioned 60s Earth toys.
Yes, because they get broadcast from Earth, therefore you have to replicate everything on Earth. Therefore, and the more you say it, like the more the guy that has a thing against Santa setting up shop has a point. It's just large-scale kind of like cultural colonialism which is occurring here. Like, and they want to kick him out and keep their sort of like cultural heritage intact.
Yeah. This is basically, what if actually the Indians in Pocahontas were wrong?
Yes. It's so weird. The more you think about it, you're like, I mean, I don't agree with the guy's methods.
What if the bad guy in Avatar was the good guy?
I mean, I'm sure this is all entirely intentional. I don't really think they put that much thought into any of this, did they?
No, probably somebody came up with a title and went, we can make a movie out of that.
American Christmas is like the ultimate good in the entire universe. It changes all cultures for the better, is the message of this movie. And yeah, they didn't put any thought into that other than Christmas good.
Yeah, put it this way. Apparently, the filming took place over 2 weeks, which tells you how much time they put into it. Put it this way, Steven Spielberg's first movie was originally scheduled for longer than that, and that was a duel. And it eventually ended up being like 18, 19 days. With the 2 weeks, I don't know if that's a 5-day week, 6-day week, 7-day week. So it could very possibly be 10 days. Like, here's the thing. Roger Corman takes less time than this to make a movie and makes it better. Like, because he knows what he's doing. But yeah. So eventually it turns out that like the bad guy that doesn't like it is trying to sabotage everything. But the other Martians really like Santa, and one of them kind of gets drunk and dresses up as Santa. And so the bad guy, I'm not giving them names, and to be honest, I can't bother to go look it up. Go look it up if you want to, but calling them bad guy Martian is more amusing and makes me like this movie a little bit more. So bad guy Martian that wants to keep his cultural heritage alive, kind of kidnaps the guy, the Martian dressed up as Santa, who wants to be Santa, thinking it's Santa, and it's like keeps him in the cave going, you go outside, because if you go outside out through here, essentially it'll set off a nuclear bomb and it'll kill us all. So what? Something along those lines.
By the way, quick Google, now look, Google AI is terrible, but I now default to just reading what it says unless it's blatantly wrong. Apparently Roger Corman did not make any Christmas movies. And if that is true, that is shocking.
That seems like a missed opportunity.
I would love to. This is he probably saw this and went, yeah, I'm going to keep it out of that market.
Considering it made a lot of his movies in around about 6 days, and for less money than even this cost, you'd think someone would think, yeah, we could get a quick one out for Christmas, Roger. You know.
Yeah. Welcome back to the show, Roger Corman. Very much a friend of the show. But yeah, so yeah, they like kidnap the fake Santa. He kind of holds him hostage with like the threat of like being blown up by a nuke or something ridiculously similar. I can't remember what it is. And then something I can't remember. Like the real Santa was like, oh, he's been taken hostage, and so they like get the bad guy, and hey, we saved the day. And okay, the kids are happier. You know, we've learned our lessons that Christmas is important and being a kid is important. And then we send Santa and the kids back to Earth. Bye bye, and it ends. Thank God. I wish I could give more detail than that, but genuinely, my brain has tried to erase details of this movie.
Look, it's 80 minutes. It's not going to be packed full of plot intrigue.
It's 80 minutes, and for a movie called Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, it takes a good 40-45 of those minutes for Santa to actually get to Mars with the Martians. So it is literally made on the cheap. It was literally, like, again, 2 weeks, kind of, you know, we grabbed loads of people together. Very impressive that they did it in color. 1964, you know.
Not good color, but color.
Yeah. So, looking very quickly at it, one of the guys said, sort of in an interview in 1966, said he'd made 15 family type pictures in 18 months. But don't let it get around. I don't want anyone to know because families don't go to see them; they just talk about them. It's essentially like very quick, done for hire. Just, we can make this movie. Let's make it a Yuletide science fiction movie. Let's go for it. Let's just shove it up, put it cheap, get it out there. But you know, it's kind of, you know, been now regarded as one of the worst movies ever made. It features in episodes of Cannes Film Festival, Mystery Science Theater 3000, always, you know, a good place to go for awful movies. You know. It's just one of those ones. Although, however, it does have an ending theme, which is a little bit of a bop.
Yeah.
Like, it's a little bit fun.
For Santa Claus.
Yeah, Santa Claus.
I really like the old sage dressed up as Santa Claus that tricks the bad guys. Like, he doesn't look anything like Santa. He looks like you, first of all. You can see his green face paint. He's wearing, like, underneath the Santa suit, you could see his Martian outfit. And this supreme Martian, like, nationalist cannot figure out that this guy's a Martian. And I don't think that's intentional. Maybe it's saying that nationalism has blinded him, you know, something like that.
Or just, like, extreme racists are stupid.
And I also really love the names of the Martians, which I only know from reading them off Wikipedia.
Yeah, we've all forgotten them. I tried to blank them out.
Kamar, Voldar, Dropo, Bomar, Gimar, Momar, Harga. Like, they were just real lazy with these names.
You are not allowed a name over 2 syllables.
Yep. So
we execute anybody with a name over 2 syllables.
They wrote a bunch of prefixes and suffixes on the board and just drew lines.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. Even the others, like, you got Santa, and the kids are Billy, Betty, like, you have somebody called Andy.
What should we name our 1960s white children? Billy and Betty. Great.
There we go.
The only 2 names we have besides John.
Yeah, it's just... Here's the thing. If you want, just, like... We won't waste too much time with this movie because it's just, like... It's
There's not much scary.
It doesn't waste too much of ours.
No, thankfully. Like, if you want a Christmas movie to laugh at, this is where you go. And it was, again, a film that I came across on the list and just went, with a title like that, this has got to be watched. You know, like, it's ridiculous. It's stupid. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's low budget. Well, Santa gets kidnapped and goes to Mars.
It's not exactly what it sounds like, because it sounds like Santa Claus conquers the Martians. I pictured a South Park-esque story where he has, like, a ray gun and he's killing people. But no, he kills them with kindness.
I think that's very much in the vein of, like, those 50s kind of B-movie sci-fi as well. Like, there's always more spectacle and kind of intrigue on the poster and with the attention grabbing title than there actually was in the movie itself.
Yeah, it's more kind of... It's more that he wins over their hearts.
Yeah.
And isn't that
with colonialism.
The real win? You know, colonialism and toys and capitalism and spreading Christmas cheer, apparently. And then they let them go back to Earth, and thankfully the credits roll.
They were able to acquire or perhaps license actual footage of a rocket launch, so that's fun.
Yeah, and in 1963, for whenever this was, there hadn't been that many, so something.
But
That's
I think
where all the money went.
Every TV, TV show and movie was using the same rocket footage. Like,
Again, this is a Corman trick. We talked about it when we did the kind of the House of Usher and the Poe movies, where he just like, I realized at a certain point that every burning building, when it gets down to a certain point, looks like every other burning building. So I just take the same footage and slightly change it, like flip it back. Nobody knows. Same thing with all these rockets. It's the same rocket. You've probably seen the same rocket launch in about 10 different movies and never noticed.
If you're the space nerd out there that knows what specific launch that's from, though, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, and then every other space launch from kind of around that time that's in a movie, we will check. So, it is not a good movie. This is not a good movie in any way. Like, it's just not.
No. But if you've got Amazon Prime, it's on there for free at the moment. So if you want to put yourself through that, then knock yourself out.
It's also more fun than Sam's movie, which is just tedious spectacle.
Yes. Let's move quickly on to another Santa kidnapping.
So jumping forward a full 60 years, we get Red One from last year, which was the big new Christmas movie released last year that I never got around to watching at the time. But finally,
this is the one where Dwayne the Rock Johnson apparently went and saw Oppenheimer in IMAX and went, "Yes, this proves that this technology is exactly what Red One needs."
The hierarchy of Christmas movies will never be the same.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Red One is directed by Jumanji's Jake Kasdan and written by Chris Morgan, who wrote a few of the Fast and Furious scripts. Stars Dwayne Johnson as Callum Drift, by the way, top tier Dwayne Johnson character name.
It's a good Star Wars character name.
Yeah. So Callum Drift, who's the head of the North Pole security team, and Chris Evans as a professional thief and hacker called Jack O'Malley, and they both have to team up to rescue Santa, played by J.K. Simmons, who's been kidnapped by a Christmas witch. This film made $18.5 million on a $250 million budget.
It really did that badly.
Take that, Amazon.
No, sorry.
185 million.
Sorry, 180. Sorry, I mistyped that. Yeah, 185 million. Sorry, it wasn't that. It was a flop. It wasn't that much of a flop. Yeah,
but like they made this for
250 million, but
between 200 and 250 mil. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and apparently 50 of those millions went to Dwayne Johnson. Which made that is apparently still the highest wage for an actor for a single role to date.
And he doesn't even try for this movie.
I would guess RDJ will probably break that for the two Avengers films coming
up. I've heard 90 mil. But I don't know if that's for the two or just for the one.
But as it stands at the minute, it's the highest wage for an actor for a single role. So yeah.
So in the last few years, we've done the first time anybody got paid 1 million because we did Cleopatra a couple of years ago, and now we've got the current highest. So every time somebody gets paid a higher amount, we should do that film and just keep it going.
The reason they haven't released the new Fast movie is Vin Diesel is currently fighting to get his number raised to pass The Rock, probably.
Yeah. So basically, with this one, I can't feel particularly strongly about it either way. This kind of movie, it just makes me tired. I'm just watching. Oh god, this is happening to me, but I just can't react strong enough. It's just in one, literally just in one ear out the other. Just nothing's going to stay with me. It's just pure kind of calorific junk food, you know.
The thing is,
it's not devoid of entertainment, but yeah.
The stupid thing is, well, one of the many stupid things about this movie, which is essentially Santa gets kidnapped by an evil witch so that she can use his powers to imprison everyone on the naughty list. Is that it?
Yeah.
Because she was the one that did all the punishments. Like, you'd think there's a lot of kind of going back and forth, almost like a James Bond style track down Santa here, there, and everywhere. But there's like 4 locations in the entire film.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
you get the main sort of, the North Pole, and Chris Evans is doing bits to begin with.
Yeah.
But then you get the beach, there's stuff happens, and then you get like Krampus's lair where stuff happens.
Yeah.
And then, like, aside from like 1 or 2 small scenes, the rest is still kind of at the North Pole.
Yeah, I think Krampus's lair.
So in terms of like big kind of sections or chunks, if you like, each one's like 20, 25 minutes long.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it feels ridiculously slow, because like things are happening, but nothing's happening at the same time for ages.
Yeah. This didn't need to be 2 hours by any means.
Hour 40.
Yeah, it's like seriously unfunny. I mean, just the kind of Chris Evans and The Rock kind of get by on charisma just about, but they're not given anything interesting to do with their characters or anything like that. And the one-liners are mostly kind of terrible.
Chris Evans, they're just gone like, you can play off the fact you're like Captain America.
So Chris,
by the way, speaking of Captain America, why can this thief still fight like Captain America? Why does he get those
He's
skills?
just a guy.
He absolutely he beats the crap out of those guys. The what they call it, the mythological agency goons, whatever they are.
The bad guys
come from in that apartment.
No, not Mora. That's the good guys.
Yeah. Well, they're not really the bad guys,
ogres.
are they? Kind of the ones that kind of get in his way, the ones that work for Lucy Liu. Lucy
time
Liu's
police.
in this, and again, Lucy Liu's in this, and is utterly wasted. Like she has been in pretty much everything she's been in for the past decade. Just
all the dialogues
give Lucy Liu good roles again, for God's sake.
Yeah, the last thing she was in that's been good was released just recently, which is The Whole Bloody Affair, Kill Bill.
The theoretical hook for Chris Evans is he's a naughty list guy. He's a bad dude.
He's a level 4 naughty list.
He is a terrible dad, a degenerate gambler, and like he doesn't get to lean into being a douchebag Chris Evans because it's essentially a kids movie.
And also it's a kids movie, but also one of your stars is Captain America. Like you can't have Captain America be a bad guy.
And he's proven, like, over the past few years, he does have fun playing like irredeemable assholes, but only when he's literally let him cook. He's just so like neutered in this.
He has to be like the generic good character while being a bad person, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I mean, they really have it on the nose. Like one of the first things we see because the opening scene is him as a kid, showing the rest of the kids at this, this house at Christmas where the presents from Santa are kind of kept by the parents. It cuts straight from doing like this big heist for information. And one of the first things that you see adult Chris Evans do is literally, it could be on one of those, stealing candy from a baby. He's done the deed and he's escaping it, and he sees a baby with like a lolly sitting in a pram, and he's like, "Ooh!" and then cuts him strutting away. And I'm thinking, "No, you're not. You're not. Oh, you are. He's taking the lolly. Okay."
And adult Chris Evans does nothing like that in the rest of the movie.
No. Yeah. Because this is all plot convenience. We just show the one to let us know that he can steal things, he can get away with it, and he's mean. And then we're relying on that for the rest of the movie, because the rest is just plot.
Yeah. And then Dwayne Johnson is doing like generic security guy. He could be part of the Secret Service. He could be guarding the president, but the difference is, he's doing that job.
Keep away from Santa Claus. We got a bogey on number 9.
Exactly, yes. So literally, J.K. Simmons is doing his kind of thing. He's making an appearance at a shopping mall. He wants to get out. Rather than do his real Santa duties, he just wants to make a public appearance because he likes that. He likes kind of the down to earth, kind of actually speaking to the kids and everything like that. And Dwayne and Callum Drift is just like walking around, with his earpiece, kind of updating the security team.
He does have,
as they're coming in and leaving them all.
He has an underutilized set of powers. Like, does he ever shrink again after the fight with Nick Kroll's like bad guys?
He does it once in the final fight.
Okay, does it
Yeah.
once. All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he has a
But
chicken friend too.
Yep.
yeah, he does. And apparently the chicken is called Alan after Alan Tudyk, who played the chicken in Moana.
Voices the chicken.
That was, I don't know whether he voiced it in this again, but it seems to one of his Disney just cast them as animals now, like non-talking animals. Just
Yeah.
Oh, did we lose Sam?
likes doing animal voices. I mean, one thing that's kind of an interesting idea that oh,
I think you're back. Yep, you're good. Go.
One thing that an interesting idea, potentially interesting idea that's not really dug into. Basically, Santa in this universe is a bit like the Men in Black. Basically, there's a number of people in the government and the military who know about them and help facilitate like his Christmas kind of ride. You know, he actually gets like a fighter jet escort. You know, as his sleighs taking off from an airbase, which is an interesting choice.
I wonder if he's cool with like other heads of state too. Like, does he have to go meet with Xi Jinping? Like they may not celebrate Christmas, but like, does he need to maintain international relations?
Yeah.
To be honest, there's a lot about this film where it's sort of. I remember in the old days when Cinema Sin was literally just for fun, rather than people thinking this is how you do film criticism. Where they used to do the old kind of prequels, and one of the running gags is like this throwaway line is more interesting than half of this movie, and it feels like a lot of the stuff in here is like this would be much more interesting as the actual film instead of the one that we've got.
Yeah, this could have been all Air Force One, but with Santa, which that's kind of what they're trying to do. Is like it's Secret Service movie, but with Santa, but it's a heist movie and it's a kidnapping movie.
Yeah.
But then you go to like literal version of like hell, like it's just like, but you can't do that because it's a kids movie and it's just.
Yeah. So they get back to the North Pole and it looks just like the MCU version of Asgard, basically. It's just. Which is kind of, I mean, a lot of the visuals really. I mean, I don't like lazy comparisons to Marvel generally because I think they're just too easy sometimes. But this visually looks like more recent Marvel movies where they didn't have enough time or money for the effects artists to.
VFX is so bad in this film.
The worst is the beach fight with the snowman.
Yes.
Yeah,
everything's too quick. It's too rubbery.
The worst is it's the transitions from real to CG, basically. So whenever a character's got to do an unnatural movement or do an impossible jump or
the heights shot.
I think the worst one is the worst bit is. At North Pole, Sam's been kidnapped, and Callum is chasing after him, basically, and marshalling
the snowmobile.
He's running across rooftops and jumping and sliding down things, and all that looks absolutely atrocious. And it's like video game bad. It's just
I think. I mean, look, the VFX we've got are good enough to be. Like, just in general for a lot of films, they're good enough where with a certain level you can tune it out. Yeah. But there are some films where the video games are so bad they look like Disney animations. And I'm not saying that because like Pixar animation, because their level of animation is very, very good. But you can still tell it's an animation.
Yeah.
And here you can. The ones that are good are when you're using VFX to kind of hide the fact that you can't do things. I think of there's a moment in Pirates of the third Pirates of the Caribbean film where in the big battle and stuff like that, you've got Jack and Davy Jones on top of like a mast having their sword fight. And what they did is from the very far away, they had it as CG. And when they come closer and a mast sweeps past, they then use that as a wipe cut to go to them physically. Stuff like that is fine when it's so far back that you can't kind of tell and it just kind of blurs into the background. That's fine. This is right in your face, right in the daylight, and it just looks bad. It just there's no way to put it. And you go, yeah, well, they only had 150 mil to play with. Like,
what I don't understand is Jake Kasdan as a director, he's a good action director and he knows when to do it for real and when to use effects. I don't know, it's like a time or money. I can't say it's a money thing. It's a time thing, maybe a pressure thing. I don't know. But he did 2 Jumanji films and got it right twice. He knew what stuff works better practically, and when you emphasize with or heighten with CG, and he just gets the balance completely wrong in this one.
The polar bear's really underutilized too. Like it's very prominent in the poster and barely in the movie.
Yeah, but again, probably like with the Golden Compass movie, it's just because having a big full CG polar bear is really expensive to have on screen for too long.
Full CG characters have been a thing for decades at this point. Like it's not that difficult.
I was gonna say, get your wheeling Andy Serkis, get his guys in for some motion capture, do it properly. Like nobody complains about Gollum looking bad, even in Lord of the Two Towers and Return of the King. Like. We've been doing it.
And I do think the more minor cast does a better job. Like Nick Kroll is fine, and the guy who plays Krampus is fine.
He's doing a sleazy Nick Kroll thing, which he does really well. He
does. Mary Elizabeth Ellis, who I almost called Winstead from Sunny, is fine. Like, the 2 main leads are just so bland that I forgot that there are really other people in this movie.
Right down to there's just so many, I think, shortcuts they're trying to hide in this, in terms of just how ill thought through and just, I don't know whether the project just kind of span out of control kind of as they were making it. But, I spotted, this is a Warner Brothers movie, I spotted those recycled Lord of the Rings sound effects, and don't you think I didn't? Literally, they use like creature effects and battle, sound effects, the exact same ones in this, and just slot them in and just think that'll do. We don't need to do our own. We'll just
not even a Wilhelm scream,
I need to correct you there, Sam. This is an MGM movie. This is Amazon MGM doing their flagship. It's just distributed by Warner internationally. So this is Amazon's like first crack at big MGM action movie, and
all right.
Woof.
So good.
It's just... Well, someone knew someone who works on the Lord of the Rings films, so maybe they just license them out.
Then again, Amazon had obviously done Rings of Power first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
At that point, have I seen the whole 6th season? I don't know. So they've got some Lord of the Rings rights in there. The thing that I find strange is that tonally, this whole thing doesn't make sense. Pitching it from a standpoint, like you go, okay, we've got a film where Santa gets kidnapped by a witch. Okay, it's for kids. Yeah, but we're going to do it as a straight up action movie.
Yeah.
What do you mean a straight action? I mean like the equivalent of like car chases, The Lot, Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Chris Evans. Okay, but you're aiming it at like so that like 7-year-olds can watch this, right? Because this is like a Christmas movie where Santa gets kidnapped by a witch. You can't do that and then have like most of the film play off with the seriousness of like, that you're aiming it for like 13, 14-year-olds minimum because you've got to bring 5-year-olds in. Okay, but also we're going to have Krampus in it. Krampus, the guy that's kind of mostly been renowned now in the popular culture for the past 10 years from Michael Dougherty's like horror movie. That guy. And we're going to go to like full hell, evil castle and the lot.
He's going to be Beast from Beauty and the Beast.
But it's going to be Krampus, and it's like, okay, so that sounds quite dark. Are we going to have any swearing in it? No. Any blood? No. So what are we going for here?
The worst, the worst you're going to get is listen, dickhead, it's Christmas.
And it's like, but the whole thing makes no sense because you're like, you've got a plot which is absurd to the nth degree, and you can kind of, if it's not like grounded in realism, you can kind of go one or two ways with something like this. You can play it up for the stupidity, in which case you're aiming it right at a younger audience, or you can go ridiculously dark and aim it at the older audience. Here, they've tried to cater for everybody, and nobody's happy with it. It's just baffling, the choices that were made in the tone.
There's none of the warmth. There's none of the Christmas feeling. Like, despite it clearly being a Christmas movie, I get no indication of holiday spirit or anything from it.
They try and do we do it for the kids. The kids are the important bit. But it's like, that's
no
just
sentimentality
thrown in. That's thrown in to give them an excuse to set the whole thing up.
Yeah. I mean, do you know what it reminds me a lot of? And a film that's by no means a masterpiece, but does it better than this. Again, I ran Christmas film I'd never seen before this Christmas, but I watched the other week, and that's Fred Claus, with Vince Vaughn, and it crossed quite a lot of the similar kind of plot lines. Obviously, Santa isn't kidnapped in that, but he's incapacitated. Someone else is going to kind of do his job and everything like that. There's the whole like naughty list plot line. Fred just ignores it. He thinks there's no such thing as a naughty kid. Everyone deserves to have a present. Whereas in this, no naughty kid deserves to even live free. They all be snow globes.
I was thinking it's like the Santa. It's not like the Santa Claus, but it kind of is. But it lacks all of the like the parts of the Santa Claus with like the family stuff, because Chris Evans is just off being a terrible dad for the plot of the movie, in addition to being a terrible dad, like in the abstract.
This has all the charm of like an unmarked cliff face. It's just bland in every way. It's like it has all the Christmas trappings, but just thrown into like a really not good Fast and Furious movie, which obviously, considering it was partly written by a Fast and Furious writer, makes sense. But it's just dull and boring and slow and just pointless.
Yeah. So one of the Rock's kind of gadgets, he's got a thing on his wrist. Basically acts like a sonic screwdriver, really, doesn't it?
It does whatever the plot needs it to do.
Basically, One line explanation: I adjusted its reality.
Yep.
So they go for a toy store. By the way, toy stores apparently work like TARDISes, or
they've all got portals in there to the Santa Galactic Nexus.
Yeah.
By the way, this feature is used nowhere near enough.
So they pick up toys as they go, and then they use the toys in their adventure, to get help out of tricky situations. So he puts a little Hot Wheels car down, he turns it into a real car that they can drive. Put some Rock'em Sock'em robots down to fight for them, in Krampus's lair.
I'll tell you what, that bit is probably the most fun part of the entire movie. Those robots.
It is. Yeah.
They also steal those, by the way. They don't pay for them.
Nope.
Or order them off Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah,
put it on Santa's tab.
I'll give this. I think probably the best thing about it is the creatures. When it dips into like the mythology stuff and like the fun they have with like the makeup designs and creature how they actually kind of how they appear on screen and how they're actually created. On a practical level. So I mean,
but it also just feels so tonally off from everything else.
I know. I mean, it reminded me a bit of Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters, which again is not a good movie, but it was a movie that I was really impressed by the creature designs, and it's a generally mediocre movie that has really good creature designs in it. I mean, he gets a special mention in the opening credits for this. Joel Harlow, who worked on Logan, Black Panther, and J.J. Abrams' Star Trek films. So he's got form on this. But I really like his Krampus designs. His the trolls, all the other creatures in Krampus's realm. Basically, they're really nice looking. There's such a cool headless horseman who gets like a blink and you miss him kind of cameo. When Santa first disappears, they're rounding up the usual suspects to interrogate. So what evil kind of vaguely mythological creatures can we drag in? And you get you get his fire-breathing horse being led along. Then you get the headless body being led along, and then finally you get like the sentient pumpkin in a box being carried away as well. I like little touches like that, and the whole kind of sequence in kind of Krampus's kind of realm is probably it is the highlight of the movie because it's just different. It's actually interesting to watch, fun to experience. But what's that? 15 minutes, if that, it's of a 2-hour movie.
It's just depressing.
Yeah,
it really is depressing. And again, I'll say this all the time. When you've got this amount of money thrown into a movie and you've paid $50 million for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and he gives possibly the most bland performance of like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is not the most emotive performer in the world either. No.
He's just a physical presence.
He's a physical presence who can deliver some lines on occasion. You know, he's not awful, but you're not going to him for Oscar.
He's a decent straight man. Like, that's the best I can give him.
But most of the time here, he's just playing so, I don't care. This is what I do in my life. You know, like, just so like almost
Vin Diesel too old for this Christmas stuff.
He literally said one day from retirement out loud in this.
And he feels like it. It feels like he's acting as if he's going to retire after this movie. Like, it's...
That's one thing this movie does for me, is it really puts The Rock's, like, age and mortality into like, a sense of reality for me, because he just seems ageless. Like, because he's such a physical specimen, and like, man, no, there is a point where The Rock's gonna be old, doing like really crappy action movies, and just trying to crank out those last few checks before he's done.
Like, here's the thing: you could probably this movie would have been better if you'd had Chris Evans in Dwayne The Rock Johnson's part, right? Yeah. And then you put somebody like Ke-Huy Quan in Chris Evans's part.
Ooh.
Because he can do the action stuff, and you just go, in the nicest way for people in the West, you just go, he's Asian, he can do martial arts. Like, you know, you can bring in a martial arts history. Like,
that would be cool.
You know, that's what we now do with Ke-Huy Quan. Like, it sounds awful. That's kind of what happens. Chris Evans is still in there for your main cast, and you've cut about, like, 30 million off the budget. Like, and Chris Evans will actually be able to deliver a performance. Ke-Huy Quan will actually be able to deliver a performance. You've saved 30 million, and the quality of your film will actually increase, at least from an acting point of view. Like, there are no downsides to this.
I agree. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah, I'm just struggling for like.
Yeah.
I should get into positives in this. I mean, look, J.K. Simmons is decent, you know, as Jack Santa, you know, even though he's not in it much. I mean, we really need to have a discussion. We really need to have a discussion in our culture about our obsession with jacked/kick-ass kind of Santa Clauses, because they seem to be cropping up more and more in recent years. I mean, J.K. Simmons alone has done it twice. You know, he also voiced Klaus, the animated Netflix film from a few years ago, and it was similarly kind of action-oriented Santa. But, you know, we've had Kurt Russell, we've had Alec Baldwin voicing one in Legend of the Guardians, getting another animation.
Now I want a Drive-style Santa Claus movie with Ryan Gosling. Only Santa Forgives.
We've had David Harbour basically doing Die Hard, but with Santa, haven't we? That Violent Night. It seems to be a thing that just keeps popping up.
To take just like regular kind of mythological class cultural characters and making them like action jacked martial arts, like badasses, like Robin Hood doing like karate. I mean, occasionally we do it. Jesus Christ, karate killer, you know, like stuff like that. I want to see. Just like,
you know what we need is we have jacked Santa as a trope. We need gay Santa is probably the next direction to take it.
Yeah.
What? With another Mr. Claus in the North Pole,
Well, they'll probably keep that ambiguous, but I just want
Mr. Claus.
Yeah,
there you go, your title.
The
Mr.
It's not
Claus. Mr. and Mrs. Yeah, it's the unofficial thing to Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It's Mr. and Mr. Claus.
Oh my god! Yeah, okay, now we're cooking.
I'm not sure which one to go, whether they're both assassins and don't know it, or you do like the rom-com Hitchcock, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which I think would actually be better considering they both end up in like a ski lodge at the end of that film. Like, we've got the new one, and all of those are so much better than Red One.
Yeah. I did learn something off the back of this, not from the film, but just from reading something connected to the film. So they make a point of when Santa first goes up to his reindeer and rides off into the night, the military base. Makes point of saying of calling them all girls. And I think, I wonder if female reindeer do have antlers, or whether they just haven't done the research. But no, it turns out that is an accurate thing. So apparently, uniquely amongst deer species,
I will
females
say,
keep their antlers all year round. Whereas
I will say, did I just miss Rudolph? Or were there only 8 of them?
I didn't count.
I don't think Rudolph's...
I couldn't see Rudolph. I'm like, the most famous reindeer, let's not have him.
Maybe they were saving him for the sequel that's never going to happen.
Yeah. Like, also, you do have to ask, I'm just asking this out of curiosity. If Santa's Red 1, who's Red 2? Because otherwise you just call him Red.
Mrs. Claus?
Mrs. Claus Red 2, like that's the sequel. Somebody kidnaps Mrs. Claus. It's Adventure.
She got kidnapped here.
The film's called Red One, but don't they have to call them Reds? You know, the code is red. You know, Red's on the move. Has anyone got sight on Reds? You know,
maybe. And they'd obviously got a movie called Red, so we have to call it Red One. Yeah.
And
like I thought this was a Netflix movie before we watched it, because I thought maybe it was part of the Red Notice universe. But
I remember it coming out in cinemas. Last year. I was tempted to watch it and review it for TFM because I'm like, oh, big action stars, you know, I might as well. And then I never did. And thank God.
Yeah. Be prepared for the with the shut up. That's why comment. But polar bears I can understand, but why are there penguins working for Santa as well at the North Pole?
That's a good question, actually.
Yeah, because shut up. They came through the Galactic Santa toy shop Nexus portal.
What cold animals are there? There's polar bear, penguin, seal. We'll do penguin.
I tell you what, this movie would have been so much better as a low budget thing from somebody that like, I don't know, like sits behind a desk working for like the control of the Galactic like Toy Box Nexus portal, like House of Dynamite, but like instead of like it's a nuclear attack, it's tracking Santa, and it's all just in that thing, rushing around doing all the paperwork.
I would watch the hell out of a miniseries of following Lucy Liu's character, just tracking the different mythological kind of beings, you know.
Yes,
she's not doing Santa. That would
so much better.
Yeah. Yeah, just every episode, it's like this. Oh, the Easter bunnies. The Easter bunnies got gone rabid this week.
Almost like a Lucy Liu, but like a kind of almost like a Men in Black style Buffy sort of thing.
But they hint at interesting stuff like that, and they almost go for it. But then they just screw it. We'll just stay on this very safe track we're on and not please anyone. I do like. I mean, this. I'll give it respect. Probably the wrong word, but let's say respect for this. Along with Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. Basically, they do come down on not really. They over explain a lot of things, but one thing they never really explain is Santa and his powers. That he's got them, and he can take them away. But generally speaking, he's been around for a long time. He can do what he likes, and the reason he can do it is because he's Santa. That's the only explanation they're given. I'm happy with that. That's fine. Yeah. Okay.
I will also give that quite often I was sat there going, you know what, the score is actually pretty decent.
Henry Jackman, it's just he's never disappoints.
It sounds like a piece of music rather than just sort of vaguely orchestral noise in the background. It sounds like the music sounds like it's been composed.
Yeah, X-Men Origins Wolverine is one of the worst superhero films I've ever seen, but his score for it kicks ass. It really does. I listen to it quite regularly.
So good. But aside from like, if it's good enough for me to sit there and go, the score is actually doing a lot of heavy lifting here. Like it's decent. Probably the best person to work on this movie.
The guy plays Krampus, by the way. Underneath all the prosthetics is the guy who played the Wilding in Game of Thrones. The big Icelandic dude. Can't remember his name now, but he's he does a decent job. But a shame we couldn't actually see him. And I thought towards the end maybe we'd kind of get a vision of them when they were young. When he looks, I presumed he looked human, like Nick did at some point in his life. He didn't come out a goat man.
Sure.
Yeah, I can tell you that how he got cast in this. He was Connor Rhodes in The Fate and the Furious.
Sick.
And guess what? Who wrote that movie?
Yep.
Are we talking about the red-haired guy?
I haven't got a clue. I can't remember it.
He was in Fate of the Furious because Game of Thrones was popular at the time.
Yeah. That'll be why he got cast. Just saying.
This is
also wrote Shazam.
So that's probably why. Is that why? Did he do the sequel as well? Because Lucy Liu was in the sequel.
He wrote Tokyo Drift, Fast and Furious 6, Fast 7, Fate and the Furious, and Hobbs and Shaw. So,
I'm just coming away thinking I need to go rewatch the Fast and Furious movies.
Oh, that'd be much better. Yeah. Is there Christmas in any of the Fast and Furious movies?
Probably.
I think there is.
Yeah, find it. That 30-second sequence will be so much better than all of this, and it's still got like Dwayne the Rock Johnson. So
The only other thing I'm thinking about coming away from this movie is what are the other genres we could put Santa into? We need Kung Fu Santa and not Santa with muscles. That doesn't count.
I was about to say Santa in space, but we've just done that.
We need blaxploitation Santa. We need I don't know, just every possible version of Santa. Just pitch them all, turn them into movies. Watch the box office go mild. Release it on streaming, more likely.
I want to see Sean Baker doing a really gritty like Santa movie.
Oh no!
Just about a guy working like a street corner Santa in the middle of New York in winter, having a really rough time. But that'd be amazing.
I've just found a film called, this is the nearest we've got, called The Hebrew Hammer, with Adam Goldberg in it.
Sick.
And according to Wikipedia, the plot concerns a Jewish crime fighter known as the Hebrew Hammer, who must save Hanukkah from the evil son of Santa Claus, who wants to destroy Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and make everyone celebrate Christmas.
See,
Film parodies blaxploitation movies and features Melvin Van Peebles in a cameo appearance as Sweetback.
I was thinking for blaxploitation Santa, he's actually like a Kwanzaa guy trying to like stop Christmas or I don't know. There's something there.
Would be a lot better.
Generally there's some missed opportunity, apart from base spectacle, just big flashing lights, it kind of wastes the main star's talents really, and it could have been so much more interesting as is. It's just, it doesn't offend me. I can't hate it, but it's just
it's disgusting. Anyway,
yeah, I was very bored by this movie. I was going in and out, paying attention.
It's 2 hours long. It does not need to be 2 hours long.
No. Well, fortunately, I picked a movie that's not 2 hours long. I picked Holiday Touchdown, a Chiefs love story. Now, you two, you were not familiar with Hallmark movies, were you? Before watching this,
this was my first Hallmark movie, and
here's the thing: even if we're not familiar with Hallmark movies, we're still familiar with Hallmark Christmas movies.
But I said this is my first Hallmark movie, right? And spoiler alert, it's not good, but it was probably my favorite of the three films.
Yeah, somehow.
So Hallmark movies, I mean, if you're in America, you're probably familiar. They are just real quick, cheap assembly line movies made to be, pleasing and cozy and comforting to a primarily adult female audience. That's it's romance novels on TV, but like the PG ones, not the current.
It's Catherine Cookson novels done cheaply.
They specialize, I would say, in Christmas movies, but there's all kinds of movies they make. They have mysteries. At some point, I'll make y'all do more Hallmark stuff. We could do like a Christmas in July or something, because that's one thing they do. They have an entire Christmas in July programming.
I think we have cultural exchange. I think one movie we'll watch 3 Hallmark movies, mostly for mine and Jacob's suffering, and then the next week we'll watch 3 Carry On movies, mostly for your suffering.
Yeah, Hallmark movies seem to be for Christmas what kind of sci-fi is for sort of those kind of sci-fi and horror movies. Very quick. Occasionally you get one that's actually interesting, but most of the time they're just kind of there.
Hallmark, by the way, it's like a greeting card company. I'm pretty sure that's how they started.
And we get Hallmark cards over here. I mean, in fact, there's a factory not far from me. So
all right. A thing. Well, their film industry is also a factory. It's a greeting card put on screen. And all of their movies, they execute exactly what they are trying to accomplish, and I cannot fault them for that. Actresses have talked about like they promote women, they treat them well, they pay them well, and so like in terms of being a female driven industry, like they are about as good as you could get. This film first came to my attention. As I said, I'm a Chiefs fan. I saw the from corporatehallmark.com the press release announcing Hallmark Media, NFL, Skydance Sports, and the world champion Kansas City Chiefs team up for new Christmas movie Holiday Touchdown, a Chiefs love story. And reading a little bit for the press release, this was June 25th, 2024. Are you ready? Are you ready for some football? It's game time on Hallmark Channel this holiday season when two renowned Kansas City institutions, the Kansas City Chiefs and Hallmark, didn't know that was a Kansas City thing, team up with the NFL and Skydance Sports for a holiday movie in partnership that will have audiences everywhere cheering touchdown. Tyler Hines, and then they list the Hallmark movies he's in. Hunter King, who's Joey King's sister, and they list the movie she's in. And Ed Begley Jr. from Young Sheldon and Better Call Saul. He's in real stuff. Starring the new original movie, Holiday Touchdown, a Chiefs Love Story. The movie begins production next month, will film entirely in Kansas City, and then was released in time for the holiday season. So
when was that press release?
June 25th, 2024, and they had not begun filming.
That is about the same turnaround time for the 2019 Black Christmas.
One thing that stood out to me towards the bottom, this film marks the ultimate celebration of a long-standing collaboration between the two pioneering KC-based brands, officially uniting the Hallmarkies, those are Hallmark fans, the Swifties, if you will, of Hallmark, and Chiefs Kingdom like never before. With planning underway for game day activations, unique co-branded merchandise, and on-air, social, and digital promotion, the multifaceted partnership will engage widespread audiences both on and off the field, with more details to be announced later this year. So it's entirely being presented initially as a business partnership, a commodity, a product to promote the NFL.
Guess what? It feels like that.
Yeah.
And I happen to be a Kansas City Chiefs fan because I hate the Dallas Cowboys, and I learned at a point in my life, wait, I can just pick any team I want. I'm not stuck. And boy, did that work out for me. As the movie let you guys know, the Chiefs are world champions. As the press release lets you know, the Chiefs are world champions.
As somebody that did an awful lot of resubtitling for sort of 15, 16-year-old episodes of Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders making the team, like, I'm glad I didn't have to go back to them for this.
Now, sort of in the background of all this, it's not explicitly acknowledged in the film, but in the background is the romance between Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, who plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. The only direct thing I see is there's a parody of the 1989 Polaroid cover for a picture of one of her early Christmases in the film. That's it. Other than that, it's straight Chiefs. But the Hallmark fans, I mean, there's got to be massive crossover between Swifties and Hallmarkies, which they are trying to essentially rope into NFL marketing through this film. Now, the film itself, as I said, starring Tyler Hines and Hunter King, she runs a store with her family in Kansas City. He works for the Chiefs. He is tasked with finding the fan of the year, and he's assigned a family to cover. And so he has to go integrate himself into the community, and he just happens to meet the fans that he is going to be assigned. And, if they don't happen to find love along the way, I mean, it's a love story.
We've got an eligible woman who wants to put her career in front of love. We have an eligible single man who is in a fairly good job. The film is called Holiday Touchdown, a love story. I wonder what might happen in the course of this film. You know,
Yes.
we will have them come together, we will have the falling apart a little bit, and then they get back together again and achieve off-scale happiness forever.
And you also have just the most explicit way for that to be, like, literally thrust upon the character, as the entire movie is her family going, so are you gonna marry this guy? You're marrying this guy, right? Oh, you're bringing a guy to marry? Is that the surprise today? A man. That's pretty much all her family is there to say, and then also that the Chiefs are a thing.
Yeah. When you find that yourself going, did Santa Claus Conquers the Martians have slightly less on the nose dialogue than this thing? You start to wonder how, well put together this is.
Yeah. I mean, your message earlier, Kieran, saying you take a drink every time they do another camera sets up from this.
That first scene is
but in the same scene, I suggested take a drink every time you see someone unconvincingly drink from a mug that's clearly not got anything in it.
Yeah.
Every line someone's going.
Now, of course, I forget her name, Alana, something like that. Hunter King, So as the film explains in, folksy home video intro, her family just fell in love at Chiefs games, and that is where her mom and dad met. They sat next to each other their entire lives. They got engaged at a Chiefs game, and she was, raised to be a super Chiefs fan, and the MacGuffin, I guess, of the movie is this special hat that every year one of the family members wears it on Christmas at the game, and when they do that, the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl, and they have to go through all the minutia of, well, why didn't it work this year? Well, we found out that it just gets you there. It doesn't win you the Super Bowl. What about all those other years? Well, we didn't have the hat. It disappeared.
Yeah, and everyone's who's skeptical about superstition have gone answer for most of their questions, and eventually they'll just say, well, you clearly don't believe it, so we don't like you now.
Yeah.
You're making fun of us. You're making fun of our stupid tradition with this.
Yeah, the Chiefs, they won like Super Bowl 1 or 2, I can't remember which one, in 1969, and then Grandpa lost the hat. And then he found it again at some point, and that's when the Chiefs got good again. Nothing to do with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. No, it's the hat. And yeah, whenever the guy shows up, they're like, "Oh, you don't believe in the magic hat?" And he's like, "I'm glad you do. That's nice for you."
Yeah.
And yeah.
I'm just here to do my job, really.
I'm just here to be handsome.
Yes.
That's about all he has going for him. He's very handsome. He's not a Chiefs fan. He was raised in Europe by his parents, traveled around. And so whenever we first meet him in his office, he has a blank, workspace. There's nothing in it. He's wearing white. And just anything to signal this guy has nothing.
Which is bold, a bold gambit when he's going to be eating some Kansas City barbecue.
Yes.
That sauce will go everywhere.
And it's after Labor Day. You don't wear that level of white after Labor Day. Meanwhile, Hunter King is always wearing some variation of like an Old Navy sweater with a different pattern in every scene. Yeah. And yeah, so what they first, it's about, okay, well, we need to do fan of the year stuff. We're going to write a piece about this family, and everyone's going to learn about the magic hat. And, the families are already a little bit famous, but now they're slightly more famous in the community, and everybody cares about the magic hat. And guys, what happens? The magic hat goes missing. Oh no. Yeah. It's tragic, but
just when they need it the most. You might almost call it the always lost moments.
Yep.
Well, and what happens is the Chiefs lose a game where the commentary says, and he throws it to the end zone. Everybody's down there, and it's like nowhere near the end zone. It's just an incomplete pass from a random point in the game, and the announcers go, and the Chiefs lose. And yeah, it's really poorly put together.
Just a thing on the shop scene. It's a little over. It's about 2.5 minutes long. I literally just pulled it up as you were talking, and I sat there and I got a notepad. And every time I could work out there was a new camera setup, I did a tally mark. I didn't get all the way through. It was about 30 seconds off or so because I'm just like, this. The point is proven. From what I could identify, when I work out it's a new kind of cut to a different camera setup, it may have just been kind of moved down between kind of cuts, but I refer to that as a new one. I could identify at least 25 in 2 minutes. It's just bafflingly stupid. That was a little bit of fun game. If you want to play the same game, go for it. You might spot technical differences that I didn't.
Did they just keep messing up their lines, or what was going on?
Like, well, the thing is, like, you've got kind of a small conversation here, and then new characters walk in, and then like a slightly different conversation happens, and then kind of other people that were in the conversation over here now, because the new characters walk in, they've changed the setup for those. So it's just like there's points where it's kind of like several people talking, and your master shot was like one setup. And then when we're in this like half new conversation, they very slightly change the angle on it, and it's like, why don't you just have the same angle? Like, this makes no sense.
Well, the reason is probably they shot it on different days with different people in the room, like not COVID style, but as close as you're going to get to that in a post-COVID world.
And I tell you what, like, I can't tell if it's on set or not, because the backgrounds look so CGI'd, and yet at the same time, I'm like, you would not CGI the back of a shop.
They shot it all in Kansas City. I'm sure the inside of the shop was a set. I'm sure...
All, you know when it's all blurred behind them?
Yeah,
and therefore they stand out really badly against it, like they're just like haloed out. So it looks like the two are so separate that it's like green screen behind them. There's no way they'd green screen that.
They might have had to reshoot and just use blank shots they had of the set, like in there.
It looks so cheap.
But they do get huge shots of like the empty stadium, which so it's called Arrowhead, like that's what everybody calls it. But the official name, and the name that they use in the press release, is the iconic Geehaw Field at Arrowhead Stadium, which that's some kind of, I don't know, company. I don't know what Geehaw or Geehaw is. Nobody uses that word. And yeah, they have to shove all of the branding in too, because that's the point of the movie, is to promote the NFL. And
that's great.
This
is an
85-minute commercial.
Yeah, it's great they got those shots in of the empty stadium, but then they had that awful CG transition of them standing at that the back kind of entrance, so the stand and then pulling out, and it's just So I mean that's much worse than anything in Red One, but this costs what. God knows what percentage of Red One's budget.
They cost $1 million.
They do get major chief cameos, like Andy Reid is in it for a second, and they're sure to fit that into the trailer, that he is actually in the movie. He's the coach. And each time they came to one of those, I was saying, oh, yeah, I can tell this is supposed to be someone I'm supposed to know, because the film is telling me that. They have Trent Green, who is a former great quarterback and a current NFL announcer. But then the actual Chiefs players they get are like, the D and C tier players, including McCole Hardman, who's the guy with, whenever she meets Patrick Mahomes, who was up for Fan of the Year as well. He's a little cat wearing a wig, so he looks like the Chiefs quarterback, Patrick Mahomes.
And it looks the cat looks so pissed off about that whole situation.
Very upset. So McCole Hardman is a wide receiver who, I mean, he's just fast. He's not great, but he's made some iconic catches in the Chiefs' recent runs. But yeah, I would call him a D-tier player, unfortunately. They have Trey Smith, who's probably the best actor of all the players. And he just shows up to say, hi, I'm Trey Smith. Goodbye. And the nice thing, too, is whenever a player has Super Bowl rings, they hold them up on their hand to show the giant rings. And Trey Smith says, yeah, I got a few more fingers to fill here. And McCole Hardman's hanging out with 2 attractive women and just for no reason holds up his hand with 3 huge rings on it. They get George Karlaftis, who's a very nondescript pass rusher. He is very good, but not a star by any means. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I bought this jersey because it's cheap. He is he is not good at all. But again, a feature on many of the great recent Chiefs teams. And those are the players that they have on the field at the end for the whatever fan of the year presentation, where she has to go up and announce to everybody, we lost the hat. And that's the big tragic moment, is having to admit that they lost the hat, which you don't have to admit that. There's no reason to. But don't worry. The hat's been mass produced by the team because of this story, and they have an Oprah reach under your chair moment so everyone can pull out the replica hat to put on.
But the stupid thing is, like, you get enough people in a stadium like that, you go find your seats. What's the first thing you do if you've got like a bag with you? You put it under the seat. So you're going to find the hat. So this big reveal, like, there's going to be at least a couple of thousand people already wearing the hat. I'm sorry.
The stadium seats are folded up. And they didn't go, hey, there's a hat underneath my folded chair.
And under your hat. And yours. We've all got hats. Why does this not happen? Sam, give the reason.
Shut up, that's why.
Because they are extras in a film being woefully underpaid to just smile and put on a hat.
Smile away, boys.
They're very small section that they filled with fans. And... yeah, I mean, so what the movie is supposed to be about is, like, the Chiefs are important. They're a tradition for this family. You know, they are literally the identity of this family. Now being mass-produced for everybody. Yeah. Everybody can have the Chiefs be their tradition and the important, piece of their lives. It's not special anymore. Or it's more special for more people is probably what they're going for.
I don't get that because it's like...
But then Santa still shows up at the 11th hour and magics up the actual hat for them.
So like, if the hat isn't important, then you don't need to give the hat back. But if the hat is important... then you give the hat back, but then the whole speech about it going, it's not important. It's trying to have it both ways, and it's just like, you can't do this. Like, this is not how it works. Either it's just the faith in other people alone, or it is the magical power imbued by the hat. You can't go to everyone. It's okay that I lost the hat because we have faith in each other. Oh, thank you for the hat. The hat will still work now. Like, what?
Yeah.
Yes, and also Ed Begley Jr.'s wife has been dead for 10 years, as he says when he's making eggnog. Oh, she's been dead for 10 years, but I can't read her handwriting. It is so charming and folksy. But they
what's this Krunoff on this, the final ingredients on this recipe?
Oh, well, it's not that. Oh, this is bad eggnog. Oh, this is so funny. But man, all these years they never sold Nana's seat. And I don't know how they didn't notice that nobody was sitting in the seat. That's not important. For 10 years, they've been going to games, sitting in these exact seats. Nobody's sitting there. And they didn't sell it because one day you're going to have a man that you will have as your identity now. So, he can sit there. That'll be great. Even though he could sit in a box or his own seats that he has because he works for the team.
Yeah. Why does that happen? Shut up. That's why.
Yep. Because family.
Yeah.
This is a Fast and Furious movie too. It's all about family.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'll give it this. I found the main couple quite charming, and sweet. The eccentric family. I laughed a few times at some of their hijinks.
Yeah,
it's better performances than all of the other two movies.
Yes, I mean, with Santa Claus versus the Martians, that's not hard. With Red One, it is depressing, considering it was made for like I don't know, but well, you look online, it says between 1 and 2 million. So even if you go for 2 million as the highest, and the lowest for Red One is 200 million, that's like a 200th or 100th of the budget, and it's like better performances.
The job is just, you know, be down home and folksy and warm family.
And I can, you know, kind of putting the cynical hat aside, I can generally see the, you know, the appeal of this kind of thing, especially this kind of year. You know, the schmaltz. You know, it's comforting. You know, it's easy viewing. You know, it's not going to tax you, but there's a certain pleasure in it. You know.
Oh yeah, and I generally really enjoy Hallmark movies. It's the cynical NFL marketing nature of this one that makes it distasteful for me, because everybody's wearing branded gear at all times. Like, actually, less so in this one. So in 2025, they made Holiday Touchdown a Buffalo
AKA
Bills
under a
story.
month ago.
Yeah, which I also watched, and like the marketing is even more blatant, and everybody's wearing stupid Bills stuff all the time, and by the way, the hat did work. The Chiefs went to the Super Bowl last year, but they lost. So yeah.
Fun fact: the only Super Bowl I've ever watched.
Oh, you picked a bad one. The 49ers ones were better, especially the second one. Yeah, because like they were comebacks. They were exciting, good games.
Don't call it a comeback.
And the final point I needed to make is you may have noticed the worker in the barbecue restaurant named Donna who keeps showing up and having lines for no reason, and is not a good actress. That is Travis Kelce's mom, and she's wearing a jersey that says "Love you, mommy" with his signature on the back. And like, I love the idea that this NFL player's mom is working in a barbecue restaurant in a city that she's not from because they're from Ohio. It's unclear if she's supposed to be herself.
I was going to say, is she playing herself in this, or a completely different person who just happens to look like Travis's mom?
I think she's supposed to be like a Santa Claus character for the Chiefs in a sense. She's herself, but also not herself, and it's a strange liminal space. Performance.
My favorite character is the annoying neighbor who they keep trying to dodge because she'll give them a horrible fruitcake. And then third act twist, turns out you're supposed to heat it up. Oh, it's been horrible all these years because we've never put it in the oven.
My favorite is Alive Grandma. I think she's a really good actress, fun character. But you know, she's just way too entrenched in patriarchy. Woman needs to like read some basic feminist theory, please. The mom and dad they're whatever, honestly, for me. The grandparents were much more interesting.
Yeah, I do like the grandpa. That's about it.
I think Ed Begley is always good value, but yeah, he's not really given much interest in Sue. It's just that's he's got to be the emotional linchpin, but they don't really do enough with it. You know, he's just general sad widower. You know, it's not really doesn't really have to stretch himself, but yeah, I think he's decent.
And I like Mustache Grandpa too. Just that couple is my favorite. He's always handing out coupons to the barbecue place. They trick people. They walk in and they say, "That barbecue place is really good," and customers go, "Oh, I should go to the barbecue place."
It's a family grift, basically.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, look, I would watch this over at least Red One. I'm torn between this and just the terribleness of Santa Conquers the Martians.
Here's the thing. This is kind of, at least kind of cutesy and sort of schmaltzy is probably the only word I can come up with and gets it out of the way. The Santa Claus Conquers the Martians is stupid and fun because of that. Red One's just bad.
This is the only one that feels festive or Christmassy. Really.
I think you guys would like other Hallmark movies more because the branding aspect of this undercuts so much of that for me at least.
Yeah.
Like it is present because
And this is
Hallmark
coming
knows how
from
to
a
do
massive
that.
NFL person as well, you know.
Yeah, but like I honestly I hate the NFL. I think it's a terrible institution. I just watch it because I enjoy the game. But yeah, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
So if you want some bad films,
Well, the Bills one, it's not as good. It's a very different plot. The Bills aren't a great team, but like the story for that one is or not grandpa because her parents are dead or something. So uncle, old man, is receiving secret Santa gifts from somebody, and they have to figure out who that secret Santa is. For 50 years, she's been taking care of the family, and it's just an old lady that has the hots for him. So there you go. Sorry, that's spoiled for you.
She wasn't old when she started.
That's true. But he was married when she started, so
All right, okay.
she's married to the Muffin Man. Sorry,
Muffin Man.
Muffin Man.
yeah. If you take away anything from this, watch Hallmark Christmas movies. Maybe not,
But not this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was just search for posters of the Hallmark Christmas movies back catalogue, and they're all the same. They're all generically good-looking couple in Christmas colours, kind of looking affectionate in a domestic setting, basically.
Yes.
And it's always high-powered executive woman leaves her job in the city to go to her rural hometown where she is won over by a guy who lives there and like runs an inn or runs, I don't know.
So in a way, this
is he Irish half the time by any chance?
Might be using an American accent.
So in a way, this one's more interesting because they've sort of reversed that because he's the high power executive and she's like the.
That's true. Yeah.
Small.
That's a good point, Sam.
Small town girl, but Kansas City isn't really a small town, is it?
No, it's not. But they really want to sell Kansas City like it's,
Because we never leave that one street, do we, where the shop is?
No. Oh, but my favorite part is where like the main guy kind of acts like he doesn't know what Christmas is. They'll go, oh, invite him to light the block. What's light the block? And I get he doesn't know what that specific thing is, but you can't figure out what like it is from context clues of Christmas. Like, I don't know. It's dumb, but it's fun.
Most of it is dumb.
Most of it is dumb. And the plot is a hat. And any movie that can make its plot a hat is just going to be silly in general.
I'm surprised that there were no Hitchcock movies with a hat as a main MacGuffin. Maybe there was. I'll have to go back.
The only other like hat-based story I could think of is Frosty the Snowman, who comes to life because of a hat.
That and all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Indiana Jones, vaguely hat-based.
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean, Jack's hat. Yeah. We will do an episode on hat.
Yeah, hat movies. We've kind of blown our load here. We've hit one of the main ones.
Yes, it will be a hat trick of movies.
Yeah.
Boom. Anyway.
Yep.
That's how done I am with these three films.
Yeah, so that's Bad Film Club. I'm retroactively. This is Santa edition. So who knows? We may do another Christmas one. There's plenty of them. Yeah, but we'll be back next week with something else festive, I think. Yeah.
And better.
Much better, yes. Literally my PhD kind of research.
Oh, yeah. Anytime we could sneak Kieran's PhD research into this, he is grateful. But then also he has to be like, oh, great, now I need to like consider putting this in again.
Yeah, it's like it's great because I get to like do research for this and actually just get some work done.
Yes. But yeah.
And Joe will be happy, former TFM guy, because every year he keeps saying, spoiler, no spoiler, I've pushed for doing the BBC's Ghost Story for Christmas things. And every year my ranking of those films ends up being like one of the massive spikes for TFM. Like, I'm expecting even this year is like, somehow they're still getting all the clicks out of nowhere. So finally we get to go into that, and he gets to hear about some in depth.
Let's hope that works out for us if we were to cover those. And we will next week. So come back for that. Until then, guys, where can people find you?
You can find me at SSP Thinks Film and at the Second Cut Pod Substack. Nothing new up there from me this week. Most recent one's the Wicked review, I think. But I am doing a Wake Up Dead Man, the new Knives Out film. So hoping to have that finished for tomorrow. So yeah, it'll be up soon.
Yeah. Hopefully you don't find me anywhere. If you do, I'm Judgmental in various places. I don't think my Five Nights at Freddy's 2 review was up when we streamed last week, so that is now up. I am probably going to try and get to suffer through Avatar when it comes out, and if it's still around, I may try and catch something a little bit more Christmassy with the Silent Night Deadly Night remake, which I was going to try and see this weekend and didn't get around to it, so maybe that'll happen.
And I am going to post a Whole Bloody Affair review of Kill Bill. I just got hit with the flu this weekend and couldn't write my review of it, but yeah, I'm not saying anything. I'm not going to say anything about it. I saw it though. You can find me at Jacob Film Guy. That's my stuff. You can email us at secondcutpod@gmail.com. Find us at Second Cut Pod everywhere. And I think that's it. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.
Adios.
Goodbye.